When you're running, you run for hours.
Days.
What days?
When everybody leaves to go home and there's only one light on in a building, a 15-story building, and only one office. Every office is fucking dark. There's one office with one light on, and as those motherfuckers go from the club, they look up every day, 2 o'clock in the morning, they see that, and that fucking light's always on. That's the motherfucker right there you gotta be. You can't have feelings about when everybody leaves. Oh man, I wish I was going home to my fucking beautiful family. That is true, but you gotta learn to shut your feelings off if you want to achieve greatness. And greatness is only achieved when your feelings about that kind of shit. So for those soft people who may be listening to this, don't put words in my mouth. I'm not talking about your fucking family and all that shit. I'm talking about the grind, the fucking grind. Your feelings have to go away. When you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going to bed at midnight, and you're waking up at 3 and no one says you need some time off, you need to take a break. When I started hearing that shit, well, I know what I'm doing to myself, I had them negative grades. I started off in the fucking dungeon, man. I had to dig out of the fucking damn grave to get the first grade. So now when you're 20 years old, well, everybody graduated high school and all this other shit, man, I gotta make time up. So while people think 24 hours is one day, for me it's 3, 4, 5 days. I gotta make up time, I'm behind. I gotta go to summer school in my mind. When a motherfucker who's with me realizes this motherfucker's gotta go to summer school in his mind, he's gotta make up time. He needs 22 hours of the 24, and they just get it. He's trying to go somewhere. You are the right person for my foxhole. I don't wanna hear no shit about resting. I can't rest right now. I don't hear no shit about what I'm doing to myself. I know what I'm doing to myself. Did you see how I came up? I gotta catch up now. And that's what life is about. Sometimes you are raised in a position where you are behind. I'm sorry, it may be inhumane. You may be unbalanced. It may not look right to you. I don't give a fuck. It's the situation that life put me in, and I need people to say, when I don't wanna get up at 3 in the morning, I need a motherfucker in my life that sees me go to bed at 12 and wakes me up at 3 saying you need to get this shit done. That's the foxhole.
I mean suffer. Your brain and your body, once connected together, can do anything. And this 30 miles was the life-changing moment. I was in the worst pain in my entire life. I was, to me, on the brink of death. This became a personal thing. This became me against this race, me against the kids that called me nigger, me against me. It just became something that I took so violently personal. And I broke this thing down into small pieces. I said, okay, I gotta get nutrition. I gotta be able to stand up before I can get off this curb and get off this chair and be able to go 30 miles. So I went through all these small steps and I was able to stand up. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. But the mentality of a warrior is very different than the normal mentality. If I die, so be it. Everything you do, you could die. So to be a warrior, why people don't understand me, I'm glad you don't understand me. Merry Christmas, good on you. Because being a warrior takes a whole different mindset. I'm very lucky that I'm alive, able to talk to you, able to still run. But when you sign up on that dotted line to be like a SEAL, your mentality changes. I may not live. Look at yourself, man. And it was that day I just got real with myself. And every day I came home, I called it the accountability mirror. What am I gonna do today to change what I see in this mirror? What am I gonna do today? You're gonna see me for who I am, because I need to change who I'm not. I call myself fat because I was fat, and people don't want to do that. They want to say, oh, don't call yourself fat. Don't call yourself dumb. If you're not real and raw with who the fuck you are, nothing's gonna change. And in this nice new world that we live in, we want to hear, you're just a little big. No, man, you might be fat, and it's okay to hear that from yourself and from everybody else. So that's where it started at. And it's raw. It gets ugly sometimes with me in that mirror, but I'm also proud of myself to be able to tell myself that and then fix what's in that mirror. Once you realize it, and you have to realize it, you gotta call yourself out. Addressing it is very small. It doesn't go from like one morning I'm this way, next morning I wake up and presto, 5 steps to greatness. No, it ain't that, brother. This is hard work. It's every day, like right now. I had to be honest with you, man. I'm even shaking right now being on this show. I'm a big time introvert. How you address it is you face it. Face it every day. You face it every single day of your life. Where you say, okay, like if you're fat, you need to lose weight. It's patience. It's patience in this fact of accepting who you are right now. I'm fat, I don't like myself. Accepting the fact that if you lose 3 or 4 pounds, that's a huge accomplishment. You have to live in your own fucking world. You can't judge yourself off of the so-called competition that we have made up in our mind. This is a race that you run completely alone. I wanted to be accepted. One goal was, let's go one day without lying. And then when I would lie to somebody, I would say, hey man, I lied to you, dude. I was really jacked up. So I figured out these ways of total accountability. A lot of folks talk so much shit about, hey, I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Are you accountable for what you're doing? Are you accountable? And that's where it started. It started with that total accountability of, let's not lie today. That's the goal in life. To put your life on a billboard, on the busiest road, in the busiest highway in the world and say, this is how fucked up I used to be. You can't look at this gigantic list and say, I gotta change all this shit. My God, this is crazy. You take off the first one, I wanna be smarter. For me, that was my thing. I have to become more intelligent. I had to now get that one thing and then strategize in that one problem. How can I do this? I'm not gonna learn like you. I'm not gonna learn like anybody else. How am I gonna figure this out? All right, man, how am I gonna do this? And I figured out a way to do it. Slowly break down that problem. Don't think about all the problems you have, just one at a time. And before you know it, you fix all these problems, but you cannot focus on all. We surround ourselves around people that make us feel great. They tell us what we wanna hear. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling, that challenging feeling of that person who's waking up at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, put your shit on, we're going for a run. We don't like that challenge. We like that person who says, hey, you know what, man, I don't feel good today, man. And they say, oh, it's okay, brother, take a day off, man, we'll get a pizza and shit, watch the game. We like that. We love that feeling. Why? Because you understand, man, we're good, bro. We don't want that motherfuckers like this. Hey, man, no, bro, fucking shit on, man. Stop being a punk. We don't want that in our lives. We don't want that person who's constantly challenging our weaknesses. We want that person who's constantly, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. People wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because after I accomplish something, they get comfortable. They wonder why I'm getting weak, man. I don't know, I lost my edge. What's going on? Because once you hit the top of the fucking mountain, guess what happened? I'm good. Because once you hit the top of the mountain, you gotta build a fucking another one. That's mediocrity. There's a lot of people in mediocrity who have a nice resume. You're mediocre now, man. What are you fucking doing today, tomorrow, the next fucking day? I don't listen to all that bullshit. I listen to a motherfucker who's like this, man. Whatever the shit is that made me fucking nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt, there's no ending. And that's the person I listen to. That's the person who's gained knowledge. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world, because that's where you find yourself. You don't find yourself in over here.